The frustration that Jimmy displayed. Cornpop. I'm not going to read the rest of it. Without me, that's
Behold, pale horse. I'd pay $5 to see Jimmy Dore body slam a disagreeable guest. Just saying. LOL.
What the fuck?
So you remember how Elon Musk told you he was all about free speech and he was going to stand up, and he has in certain places. He stood up to Australia. He won that. We find out that he, like in Turkey, he's censored for them when they asked him, and he stood up recently, very briefly. He stood up to Brazil. Brazil wanted him to censor more, and he said no. So they shut down Twitter in Brazil, and then they started to screw with Starlink, which is his big money maker. Starlink is, by the way, amazing. Actually, they've got like 5,000 satellites surrounding the planet right now. It's kind of amazing. But anyway, Michael Tracy says, after weeks crusading against censorship in Brazil and proclaiming that Twitter would be the world's heroic defender of free speech, Elon Musk has apparently capitulated to every demand made by the Brazilian Supreme Court that he had previously decried as intolerable censorship. New York Times posted it. Elon Musk suddenly appears to be giving up. Nobody's really talking about this on Twitter. I wonder if it's being suppressed or nobody's really talking about it. Elon Musk suddenly appears to be giving up. After defying court orders in Brazil for 3 weeks, Mr. Musk's social network X, Twitter, has capitulated. In a court filing on Friday night, the company's lawyers said that Twitter had complied with orders from Brazil's Supreme Court in the hopes that the court would lift its block on Twitter. So it's just kind of sad that he can launch into space, but he can't launch an uncensored social media site. What do you think X will be called when he leaves? X-Lax? Because it's turning into shit anyway. Here's the part that Michael had highlighted. Now, X's lawyers said the company had done exactly what Mr. Musk vowed not to do. Take down accounts that a Brazilian justice ordered removed because the judge said they threatened Brazil's democracy. How do you save democracy? Censorship. X also complied with the justice's other demands, including paying fines. Where's he going to get the money for that? Where's Elon Musk going to get that kind of money? And naming a new formal representative in the country, the lawyer said. They wanted a new formal representative in Brazil. Why? So they could have someone to throw in jail. That's why they did that. All I'm going to say is all the people messing with Elon Musk, and if you're driving a Tesla, I'd think twice, because when you're in an electric car, you're really just sitting in a giant pager, if you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. This is from New York Times. The abrupt about face from Elon Musk in Brazil appeared to be a defeat for the outspoken businessman. You think? And his self-designed image as a warrior for free speech. Mr. Musk and his company had loudly and harshly criticized Brazil's Supreme Court for months, even publicly releasing some of its sealed orders, but neither had publicly mentioned their reversal by Saturday. So I guess Elon Musk isn't talking about it. I should go to his Twitter feed and look. But I remember when he said, stuff like this. This was in August. He said the decision to close the Twitter office in Brazil was difficult. But if we had agreed to the Supreme Court's illegal secret censorship and private information handover demands, there was no way we could explain our actions without being ashamed. So apparently now he's ashamed. Or he's just not explaining his actions. Could you go to his Twitter feed and see if he's talked about this? Because they did it on Friday. So that had 73 million views, that tweet. Apparently, he's ashamed, or maybe he's not ashamed because he's only ashamed if he explains it. And I can't tell. I don't think he's explained his actions. Wow. Here's what he said before. This was what he said in July. The European Commission offered Twitter an illegal secret deal. If we quietly censored speech without telling anyone, they would not fine us. The other platforms accepted that deal. Twitter did not. Well, now they are accepting that deal in Brazil for at least. I'm sure they're caving everywhere. So they don't want you to have information. Because when the establishment can't control the narrative, then they have to start disappearing people, which they'll do, but it's a lot harder. So we're living in a worldwide authoritarian. We're living one big Soviet Union. Everywhere now is China. Everywhere. So is somebody going to call Elon Musk a communist for doing this? Is someone going to call him a communist? Because that's what they call communists. I don't think people understand what communism really is. They think of Stalin communism, and that's not. But anyway, this is authoritarian fascism, and Elon Musk is going along with it. And it said, did you find any? He's not talking about it, right? They're not talking about it. Hey, Elon Musk's big secret? He's a fascist authoritarian censorer. That's his big secret. I've seen statistics that said he's approved 80% of the censorship requests that he's gotten from governments. So Twitter is better than Facebook and Instagram and certainly TikTok. But is it free speech? No. It's the speech that Elon hasn't been threatened over yet. But if he gets threatened over it, apparently, he'll let you have some free speech, but not all. So that's the dirty little secret. Over to Steph.
Okay, Jimmy. Thank you so much. All right, let me refresh right here. Stand by. All right, here we go. Good news, the Irish government dropped the Orwellian hate speech bill for now. At least the EU and the other testing ground countries are very upset. Gavin,
is good. That is good news.
That is great news.
That is good news.
Chima says American liberals have been saying racist shit about Haiti for decades.
Yep.
The moment Trump opens his mouth, everyone wants to cry and feign outrage.
That is true. That is also true. Good super chat. Thank you. Who's that?
That was Shima.
Shima?
Slane says, I, for one, always believe everything the government says. Anyways, I gotta go. I'm the guest of honor at P. Diddy's release party. Funny, we've never met. All right, Slane. Thank you, Slane. SS, all cars that can connect to the internet can be remotely controlled, can't they? See Wired, article regarding hackers killed my Jeep with me in it. SS. Jimmy jokes about pages are now anti-Semitic. Rohrbach.
Yes.
I'm going to call it the state injectable. See if anyone wakes up. SS. Trying to make Steph say stuff is called compelled speech, and it is also a violation of the First Amendment per W.V. Bowe versus Barnett. I did not know that, Barb. Look at you, Barb, laying down some interesting facts. Trump gave us the right to try. Double agent. Love you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but he didn't give us the right to try hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin.
And,
I mean, he talked about him, but he got bowled over. He was surrounding himself with the wrong people.
And
now you got to put your faith in Bobby Kennedy to hope Bobby Kennedy can override Trump in his second term. I don't have much faith in that, honestly. A lot of people say, Bob, you can come to me. A lot of people are saying Bobby Kennedy's going to get tossed to the side as soon as if Trump gets in office. That might be true. You see how Trump is. His first administration was horrible, and he's talked about putting Pompeo back in. He had all the people from the swamp. He had the swampiest of swampers. John Bolton, Elliot Abrams, Mike Pompeo. He had the head of Exxon as the head of his State Department. So, hey, not that Joe Biden's any better. I'm not saying that at all. Or Kamala Harris. I'm saying good chance they'll be worse. But we're back to, I don't have any confidence because of his first, I really don't. And he's running around bragging that Israel has control of our government. They should have more. He's saying he wants to put people in jail for free speech. That doesn't bode well. So, I have to cross my fingers. I mean, is there a chance that Trump does the stuff Bobby Kennedy says? I guess there's a chance. At least he's letting Bobby Kennedy say that stuff. Kamala Harris doesn't have anybody anywhere near her saying anything like it. Anyway, back over to Steph.
Thank you, Jimmy. I was wondering when you're going to come back to me. All right, so let's see here. What do I got here? Sick off society, stand up for Cap's rights. Oh, I know, right? I hear you on that one. What's this one say? NG Miles, no idea what's going. Just came to say hi, Steph. I'm not going to read the rest of that one. I'll share it with my husband later. All right. She's censoring. Peter version 1, Rumble time for your show sounds weird. Why not call it Time to Rumble? For Peter version 1, thank you. Too late, already made the posters.
Because I think it's a
play on
gerund. Time to Rumble is not a name of a thing. Time to Rumble is an action used as a noun. I think that's called a gerund. I could be wrong about all this. But it's not a proper name. Time to Rumble. I don't know. I guess you could.
It's not a proper name. It's not proper. All right. Kate Cott was, please call out free speech hypocrites like Jordan Peterson on Israel at the D.C. rally. God bless you and the team.
Well, I'm certainly going to take on Zionism at the rally. I'm certainly going to do that. I'm certainly going to make fun of Zionists and about the Israeli control of our government. I'm certainly going to do that. Yes, of course. But, it's a lot of people say, well, there's a lot of Zionists on. Yeah, but that's not a rally about Israel or Palestine or Zionism. It's a rally for freedom of speech and taking back control of our government, which I'll work with anybody to do. I'll work with anybody to do good and nobody to do bad. And the people who are saying that stuff about the rally are making the exact same mistake that Code Pink made about the anti-war rally. Same thing. Oh, you're going to go try to end a nuclear war with people who aren't on the same page with you as LGBTQ? Yes. That'd be another rally. You want to have a rally about LGBTQ rights? I'll go to that rally. The thing that gives something power is when people who disagree vehemently on other things can come together around one idea they agree on. That's what gives it power. That's how Kristen Smalls got a goddamn union made with a bunch of Trump voters on Staten Island. Okay, over to Steph.
Okay. Yes, RC Nation, thank you so much for your thoughtful words. Boethius, what is Kamala's foreign policy? To be determined. I'm really excited about it, right? Like, I'm excited to find out what her foreign policy is. I do know she's worried about the middle class. I think that's important. And I think she's for fracking, or isn't she? It's so confusing, but I love her. Back to Jimmy.
Hey, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there for more AM Joy and the rest of MSNBC. And click on any of the videos right here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. And you can get more videos from MSNBC for free every day with our newsletter. Just visit
Isn't it swell? The memes make themselves. They found a rabbi hole, tunnels and all. There's Jews in the walls. Isn't it bliss? The rabbinical grace soiling the mattresses. Well, let me tell you. If I were Rabbi Shmuley and diddle 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 digga digga diddle diddle dum, all day long I'd diddle little bums. If I were a Shmuley man, I'd peddle all my dildos, dreidel dildos, selling dildos with my daughter and her mum. If I were a Jewish Shmuley man, I'd be digging with a dildo in my bum. I'd wear a grotesque nose and go grab some goyim right on the nipple with a pinch. A Shabbos lap dance brace for the youngest mensch.
At this time, more than any other time, you know, revolution is necessary. It is necessary. Not only based on what has happened with the MOVE organization, you know, the babies that have been murdered, you know, MOVE adults that have been murdered, bombs being dropped on us, but past that to what is happening with all black people, so-called minority people, you know, money poor people. You know, this government, as has been said earlier, has waged war on us. But you know, something about us, particularly here in America, we don't really understand that. You know, we don't really know what war is. You know, for black people, for poor people, that people see as good, that they wasn't forced to do, that they didn't do to try to keep black people appeased, you know, and calm down so that black people wouldn't riot. A prison situation is a crystallized example of that. You can make phone calls in prison. They have movies in prison, but they don't have those things because they just want to be nice to prisoners. They have those things because they know damn well if they don't have, you know, people being able to contact their family, if they don't have, you know, facilities for people to sit there and watch movies, people are going to be frustrated, upset, and they're going to direct that frustration at them prison administrators, and they're going to have riots on their hands. You know, they're going to have people in them prisons turning them prisons out. That's why they have movies. That's why they have access to phones the way they do. And a stop to it when we don't like it, or encouraging it when it's something that's in our interest. You know, we have to call the shots. The people have to take the reins of this system and start dictating, you know, what we need, what needs to be done. And, you know, taking the initiative to do it ourselves. We can't rely on this system. I mean, you know, don't people see what's happening? Every single confrontation that MOVE people have been involved in, every single issue, you know, oppression, economic issues, every single issue facing our people, you know, is something that can be dealt with very, very simply. All people got to do is make their wishes known. All people have to do is stand up and say, listen, we're not accepting that. Unity is the key. Unity is the key to revolution. Revolution ain't nothing to be afraid of. It ain't nothing to shy away from. Revolution, contrary to what officials, you know, this system and those backing the officials running this system, you know, want people to believe that revolution means violence, you know, means blood in the street. I'm saying it can get to that point, but it don't have to be violent. You know, when people come together and take a strong stand on an issue, this government don't have no choice but to listen. Where you think they get their authority from? They don't have no power, but they do have authority to do certain things. Where you think they get it from? They get it from us, from the people. You know, they get it from us accepting the things that they do to be done to stop it. Then you have some people who want to then turn around and say, yeah, well, you know, it's the best we have, and want to make excuses. The time for excuses is over. It's over. You know, every man, woman, and child has to be involved in this revolution. Not only has to be, but is, whether you want to be or not. I mean, our babies gave their lives for this revolution on May 13th. You know, men, women, and children were murdered. And not just move babies, you know. What about all of the young men, women, you know, children 8, 9 years old shot down on the street by cops, you know, by drug pushers? I mean, you know, where do you think that mentality comes from? It comes from this system, from the mentality of this system of getting over, you know, making a quick buck, you know. I'm saying that's where that needs to be done to stop it. Then, you know, what I want people to really, really understand is that it's past time. It is past time for poor people, black people, you know, to realize that this system has failed you. It has failed you. You can't get nothing from it. And what people got to do is withdraw our support from it and start doing for ourselves. That's what we got to do. You know, how long are people going to sit back and beg, you know, this government to do what's right when for hundreds of years all you've gotten is a slap in the face? All you've gotten is this government kicking your ass. That's all. That's all black people have ever gotten from this government.